Right, everyone, welcome back to CNC Football. Today, final day, of course, of the EFL season, but still a lot to go on in England. There's the Premier League, and what we're focused on today is the Emirates FA Cup. The final is on May the 17th. It is Crystal Palace versus Manchester City. A very exciting final, I'm not going to lie. I think this could genuinely go, I want to say either way. City are definitely favourites, but Palace, I will say they've got a chance. So, without further ado, let's get straight into it. Okay, everyone, so first of all, let's go for a rundown of each team's journey so far to the final. So, Crystal Palace started in round 3. Obviously, they've got the privilege of not having to go through round 1, round 2, and even before. So they started against Stockport. They beat Stockport County a 0-0 at Selhurst Park. They then beat Doncaster Rovers 2-0 at the Eco Power Stadium. They then beat bitter rivals Millwall 3-1 in the game, of course, where John Mateta was, of course, injured. His face, he had to be taken to hospital, and he was obviously operated on. He's back now, in a full recovery. They beat Fulham 3-0. They absolutely battered Fulham like they did Millwall. And then they also battered Aston Villa in the semi. So realistically, the momentum that Palace have got is pretty solemn. I mean, in 1, 2, 3, in 5 games so far, they haven't conceded. They've conceded 1 goal. So, and they've also converted, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 goals they've scored in the first, from round 3 onwards. So realistically, Palace, I do think, should be full of a bit of confidence. To beat Villa 3-0 was surprising, because Villa have had a great season. They've had Champions League football. They've been decent in the Premier League. So for Palace, it was a pretty good run. So the team that they've mainly focused on this season, Crystal Palace, has of course been, they've had Dean Henderson, solid goalkeeper. What a signing he was from Man United. You got 3 at the back in Mark Gahey, Chris Richards, and of course Maxime Lacroix. Once again, they strengthened the defence with players like Lacroix came in. Gahey was already there, Richards was already there, but again, Lacroix has been the new element. I think obviously, Glasner has spent money. He's bought players from the Bundesliga, a league he's familiar with. The midfield's focused on Daichi Kamada, who's bought on a free from Frankfurt. He's been really good on a free chance. You can't go wrong with that. You got Adam Wharton, who's been superb. He's now in England. He's now a full-time England player. To think this man arrived in January 2024 from Blackburn Rovers is mad. He's doing amazing things, Wharton. The 2 winger backs have been Daniel Munoz and Tariq Mitchell. Both been brilliant. Out of the pair of them, I think Mitchell's been a little bit better. He is linked with a move away in the summer. Mitchell, I reckon Man United might get him, but he'd be a bit of a fool to go for him, to be honest, to stay there in. The front 3, well, not front 3, the 2 sort of attacking players have been Eze and Sarr. Sarr's been solid this season. He was a bit of, I feel like Sarr came in, he was a bit of an underrated side. People, I think at Marseille he struggled. His Watford days were behind him a little bit, but he's really surprised since arriving in the summer. And then you got Mateta up front, who's been superb, and obviously, like I said, Eze. Mateta is he's what we would call a Barclaysman. He's one of these players that might not be the greatest, but he's a proper player. He's absolute shithouse of a player. He's a top player. I mean, obviously, in terms of depth, they've got you've got players like you've got Nketiah, who I think hasn't played enough this season, but he's been decent. You've got Ben Chilwell on loan from Chelsea, but not really worked out, has it? Lerma's decent. Will Hughes isn't too bad. I mean, you've got Matt Turner, Klein, Joe Ward, and then a couple of youngsters they've used every now and then. But realistically, as I say, I hope Palace get something from this, but it's unlikely. So yeah, after that's the current Palace team. That's what the strengths and weaknesses are at the moment. Okay, now for the Citizens, City, whatever you want to call them. Goalkeeper, their formation's been, it's been weird, I think the versatility in this team is just so weird. Ortega has been in goal, but Ortega on his day is better than Edison to some extent. Edison's been poor this season. I reckon Ortega will still be in goal for the Palace game. Full-backs have got Mateus Nunes and Nico O'Reilly. It's a crazy thing to think about, but it's actually worked. O'Reilly's been superb this season. Maybe not Nunes as much. He's not really a fullback, is he? You've got Ruben Diaz and Gavardiol, who've been a good partnership. Midfielders of Kovacic and Bernardo Silva. You've got KDB there as well, if needed. Again, a good midfield. Obviously, I think that Gundogan and De Bruyne are a better fit, but still. And then, obviously, just like this front four with Savinho, Marmouche, you've got Jack Grealish. I mean, Rico Lewis has played as a striker, a sort of striker time. It's weird, but it's working. As I say, I mean, City have got a weird versatility, but they can play players anywhere. Like players like Nico Gonzalez, he could probably play up front. Players like, I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing a Kazanov up front or a Kanji up front in the next few years. But overall, they have had quite a difficult season. They've had injuries to Haaland, to Stones, to Ake, to Rodri, and they've coped quite well, to be honest, considering how poor the season has been up to now. So overall, City have got a good team. I don't think it'll change too much on paper, but yeah, not a bad team at all from Man City. In round 3, they started against rivals Salford City. They absolutely hammered them 8-0. They then only just beat Leyton Orient by 2-1 at Brisbane Road. They then beat Plymouth 3-1. They beat Bournemouth 2-1 in the quarterfinals, and they, of course, beat Nottingham Forest 2-0. It was a surprise game. I backed Forest, obviously, in the last semi-prediction video, and the last semi-final prediction video, and sad to say that they couldn't knock it, Forest. It's a real shame, but it is what it is. But for City, they've not had a good season, City. They've had no silverware. They're out of Champions League, they're out the... they failed in the Carabao Cup. It's a bit of a shame for them, really. They've had a real, I wouldn't say downfall, but this season's been a bit of a kicking for them. The whole, I mean, some might argue that, the whole fact that Arne Slot came in over Jurgen Klopp sort of put a bit of a different stance on, who goes for the Premier League. And I think for Guardiola, he's lost his bottle and maybe his motivation a little bit. But I'm sure they'll bounce back next season. Their form has been really good the last few months. Second half season been good. Players like Marmouche, they brought in Marmouche. He's been a baller for them since coming in. So realistically, they need the FA Cup. I think Pep Guardiola, he's going to get sacked, because as if you could sack Guardiola, what he's done for the team over the last 6-7 years. So I think City, they have to go for this. I mean, they're not guaranteed top 4, but they should get top 4. I'd be surprised if it didn't capitalize on it. They're now been out further in the Premier League. Obviously, that might change. Arsenal have been on a bit of a car crash recently, to be honest. But yeah, I think my prediction that I'm going to say for the final, I'm going to say... My word. How do I want to say Crystal Palace 2, City 2. And I think... I want to be optimistic and say that Palace will win, but realistically, I think Man City will win on penalties. So I'll say 2-2, and I reckon Man City will win on penalties. I think realistically, that's not really a bad shout, I don't think, from me. I think that Palace are a team, and under Glasner, they've improved massively this season. They've been better. I mean, losing Elise was a bit of a kick in the teeth, but players like Mateta and Eze and Tariq Mitchell and Margahay have really kept their spring in their momentum. So, yeah, I think this could go either way, but I think 2-2, City will win on penalties. Okay, everyone, so thanks for watching. I'm sure you probably disagree with my take that Palace might have a chance, but City, I think, will win. It's going to be a difficult game for both teams. I wouldn't say that City are completely guaranteed this win, but I think they'll still struggle to some extent, so we will see what happens. But thank you for watching, everyone. Please let us know what you think down below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? What would you do? I mean, what would you put it differently to me? And also let us know what you think of the seasons. I mean, how would you? I mean, let us know one word down below to summarise this year's FA Cup campaign. Thanks for watching, everyone. Me being Charlie, behind the camera Curtis, and until next time, thanks for watching.